Greetings, fellow Ambazonian. This is your spokesman, Capo Daniel, of the Ambazonian Governing Council, and a special edition for our podcast today marked the 5th day for this month of July 2022. This one a talk for defense. We will get the good, the bad, and the ugly. And it will be very important so make we get them right each time we come for self-defense, and each time we would bring things that make we do them without corny, and we'll just speak them clearly the way we did. The trend for La Republique for exploit the cracks within our communities and villages by tapping into the areas where we have intercommunal violence or conflict or differences or places we don't get previously intertribal war, it continue. I go get for that very soon. But the first thing I want to tell una say, make una avoid scammer them. Make una avoid scumbag them. One thing where Ambazonia they need to know. For 5 years now, if some man commodity come say be na Jesus Christ, say na you come save Ambazonia today, wait for these 5 years, you never do anything. Make una run away from that man. Una be very careful for scammer them. When we tell una say self-defense, it be very crucial for get political political backing and political alignment in addition to proper military ideology. It be very crucial and very, very critical. Any group where you know go get political aligning when a military group for ground, or you know get a military ideology, it could become a big liability for Ambazonia, no matter how good that group it be. Now we get not just two of such groups in Ambazonia where they get political alignment and where they get military ideology. One na Sokadef, the other one na ADF. There is no other one. You will get the ARA, where it be done start off very well, it be done be neutralized by politicians, and where they no be put as a priority. Embedded agents, they be done come transform them. Chris Anu and Sako, they be done transform them into ARF. Our soldiers on the ground, they don't say they need to work, and today they don't come out of it in the form of a unity warriors, as we see them across our territory. But basically, they are just independent forces operating, and it's very problematic. We also don't see the AMF, the legacy of Foncha, where they don't bring them and how it don't be. Nevertheless, our soldiers them for ground, they just want to fight for free Ambazonia. They don't care the political group alignment. They don't care about the ideology. All these things they don't really care, because the most essential trigger, the most essential motivation for every soldier for Ambazonia, and I say they want to fight against La Republique for free ourselves, because themselves are the first eyewitness and for the atrocity and terrorism, Cameroon terrorism. So we can never blame our soldiers, but we get a duty for inform them, for educate them, and for make sure say those way then they surround themselves around, those who then trust them. Somehow we hope say God could touch their heart, meet and do the right thing, both for the sake of the soldiers and the sake of our liberation and our people. Before I fall for the inside the defense, one thing I want to make Ambazonia they know: we can never collectively drive all Francophones or Cameroon citizens in Ambazonia. It is not practical. It will never work. It will just make people who are doing it to look like fool, because that is what it is. It is a dull idea to attempt to drive away all Frocs or all Francophones in Ambazonia. We have to know something. There are 3 different type of frogs. Frogs them get different one with different kind of frog them. So one in the way it back carry poison. So one in the way na those toad pork the way they not get no danger. There are different waves of Francophones or Cameroon citizens or frog, whatever you choose to call them, in Ambazonia. You get those when a legitimate frog them where they be enter for Ambazonia like refugees. Most of those one them they don't get up to the 5th generation where they don't be born in Ambazonia. They don't know them place where they come out. They be attached naturally as the law of nature they talk to their places of origin, La Republique and their villages. But most of them have never gone back home. Most of them, all they know is Ambazonia. And some of them actually feel that they're Ambazonians. Whether you like it or not, they have that feeling. But make sure, there should be no mistake in this. A citizen for the former British Southern Cameroon, your point of reference is the Constitution. For you to be an Anglophone or a Southern Cameroonian or an Ambazonian, your right to become a citizen come from our Constitution. And our Constitution for nationality do not come from the constitution in order that was implemented in Southern Cameroon. It comes from the British Constitution. So all those who were considered as legal citizens of Ambazonia or any British of the South territory of British, they derived their nationality from the British Constitution, which used to accord citizenship for the territories that they control out of England, out of motherland England, only to citizens that are considered to be subject of the Queen or British subject. Eventually, that citizenship was awarded to the Commonwealth, citizens of the Commonwealth. So you cannot be a British citizen, a Southern Cameroonians, if you are not the subject to the Queen, if you are not a subject to England, or you are not defined as a subject of a citizen of Commonwealth. Who are citizens of Commonwealth or who are the subject to the Queen? These are people for territories that were colonized, were people whose villages, it comes from the village, the tribes, they have protection from the Queen. That means you have a protectorate treaty with the Queen, or your territory have been conquered by force by the British Army for the Queen. You become a British subject or the subject of the Queen. That is why people even in Bakassi are not considered the subject under Southern Cameroon in international law. Why? Because their village in Nigeria had a treaty with the British people there to submit themselves as citizens, as a protectorate citizen in the British territory in Nigeria. So that is the law. That is why the international law asks the people in Bakassi to leave their homeland and get into Nigeria. And when they were doing the demarcation, there were villagers who were asked to choose side, either to pay allegiance to the Queen or to join French Cameroon. Some of those villagers, they did not take those things seriously in those days. So our citizenship is based on your village, your paternal blood. It has affected even our culture on who can inherit and who can become a chief and who cannot become a chief. Women cannot become a chief. It comes from your bloodline. If your tribe was not under the British protection, you are not a Southern Cameroon citizen. So you can have the right to vote, as the Constitution of Southern Cameroon had provided right for residents to vote, but you may not have a reference point to become a citizen. For frogs, you have frogs who came in because of Makiza War. Majority of them, they don't even know their villages. You have frogs who came in after Southern Cameroon becomes a semi-autonomous region, and they were attracted by the respect of human rights and multipartism. You also have frogs who came into Southern Cameroon for political reasons, who were shaped mainly from Douala, and they came and they helped to sponsor political parties to affect our politics and to participate in the elections of the plebiscite. You have post-plebiscite frogs who came in and were brought in by Amadou Ahidjo to francophonize our citizens, and were also brought in by Paul Biya and this current regime. These are all different categories of frogs. In this light, somebody like Milton Taka is a frog. He's a francophone. He have no legal reference for his citizenship in Ambazonia. Does this mean that he is not a patriot or his allegiance do not lie with Ambazonia? No, it does not mean like that. There are many of these people, especially those who were children of Makizas, who are more patriotic than even some Ambazonians. You should look at what is going on in our territory. People like the Mbororo youth who have joined La Republique Ingwa, who are actively burning our villages and partnering with Fulani and Cameroon military to destroy our struggle, our people are more dangerous than even some of these categories of frogs. You can never and you will never drive away every francophone, any categories of francophones. It is immoral. And the people who are trying to do this are also corrupting the defenses in Bamenda. They take money to give to one of our units that we know are now in contact with these people, and they don't go to drive out these frogs. They go and target legitimate francophones who are just there to do their business, not to collect tax, but to carry out excessive taxation of these people because of this useless and idiotic preaching that some of these idiots are putting out there. There are a lot of Tongtu people who are supporting the struggle financially, morally, and with their heart and their blood. There are even Tongtu people who are fighting for Ambazonia. So when you go and you start corrupting soldiers that you did not train, you don't have soldiers of your own. After 5 years, if you had soldiers, you could have been fighting La Republique du Cameroon, or you could have been trying to stop Diangote from visiting Ambazonia. You now want to come and tap and scam people in the name of fighting and corrupt our soldiers on the ground with money and neutralizes our command and control, which is crucial to protect our people and their interests. Now, businessmen who were supporting the struggle are now being targeted, and this will only lead to most of them be compromised because they will see the Republic like the only sensible option for them to protect themselves. These people have nowhere to go. So all these people who are doing things without any proper thought, research about it, will only bring us nothing good. Nothing good will come out of these people. That said, I want to get our people to the research that have been carried out on the ground by our intelligence network about what happened in the great state of Manu. As you now know, the Manu Unity Warrior were responsible for the human rights violations that are not acceptable of the slaughtering of our people in Mesaka Eko in Manu. More than 30 people have died. The number have risen by 4. So you have 4 other people whose dead body have been found. That the Unity Warrior of Manu, and now we can now tell our people that they were also responsible for the killing of over 17 of our people still in Manu, in Obonyi area. Previously, we had thought that it were the vigilante that were being paid by Cameroon agents. Now we can tell our people that no, it was still the Unity Warrior. This group in Manu, they pay allegiance to Siseko. We know that Siseko or Yerima, they don't have any command and control over them, even though they have provided them with legitimacy by calling them Restoration Forces or ARF Forces. We have engaged with conversations and meetings with the IG care. We had expect them to inform these soldiers or to publicly denounce such killings so that it does not replicate itself. We don't think enough have been done. We continue to call them to ask these soldiers to denounce or to take measures to stop these killings. It is just too bad. It is just too bad what has been going on throughout our Manu with our Manu people. Cameroon people that we know are Cameroon agents are now disguising themselves like supporters of the struggle. People who are sponsoring these groups to be giving them advice, their advisor. But what they are doing, they are trying to use these people to walk along tribal lines, to instigate tribal conflict and communal conflict in order to divert their attention from their main objective. And they have been having a lot of success because these groups have been on their own without any political supervision. If we don't solve these problems, it will kill the struggle. It have a potential to kill the struggle. Imagine what kidnapping for ransom have done to our people. They were ready to abandon their freedom to stay as slaves if we did not do something about it. So when we talk about these things, it's not to condemn, it is to solve problem. It's very important that all of our Manu people, they know. After discussing with the soldiers, discussing with the community leaders, with the traditional rulers, even with refugees from those areas, it is one, the mindset is one mindset. For them, Manu is for Siseko. Manu supports Siseko. So the forces there, they are saying that their allegiance is with Siseko, they are standing with Siseko. That will mean that they are aligning with the group of Yerima, the IG care. But as a matter of fact, none of them are receiving any support or instruction from the IG care. Some of them, they come to the IG care, they have made video previously for the IG care. It's just to gain legitimacy that they are actually fighting for our country. And to be honest and to be fair, these are the soldiers who have liberated Manu. Most of our areas in that area do not have a Cameroon terrorist military base. They don't have it there. These are all liberated area under total Ambazonia control. But the lack of political leadership, political alignment, and proper supervision have made these soldiers to just take the struggle and the IG as a means to get a blank check for legitimacy, sometimes without the officials in the IG even knowing what is going on. They have never given them any money or any stake, but they have made videos to say that they have given them stake just to seek that legitimacy in the eyes of their people. And in turn, they have been committing havoc because they don't know what to do with that freedom. All the areas in from Kalemu, there, Bashua, Berere, Akwa, Tava, Nga, Tito, Meshua, Bayang, Abani, Chobwa, all those areas there, our people are under serious torment. They are under torment. I will not lie to you. They are asking villages to pay 150,000 per month Every month they have to collect that money, and the chief is in charge to go and collect that money from their people in areas where there are people who don't even have they live below $1 a month. So those things are going on. If you want to bring a case, you have to pay 100,000 to report a case, and then they'll judge the two sides. The one who fail case will pay the money back to the person who complained. It's too excessive, and the cases they are not experienced to handle this issue. That's why we always insist to empower traditional council that practice customary law to fill this thing, and that is even the policy of the IGK, if I'm not mistaken. And the soldiers have become corrupt, as they say, with power without any restriction. Corruption become more. General Omega, the one they call him just General. You have even the guy there, Eta, who controls the water there for Satum, Bashua area, right up to Dadi. We have report from soldiers that even the mayor of Akwa, the mayor there is sending from Manfi, the Cameroon terrorist elected mayor is sending rice to come. They are sending rice to Ambazonian forces. You have had the Satum corrupting soldiers to pay money for them to operate. There are certain companies that we cannot even collect tax from them. We cannot. CDC, all those ones that are critical to collapsing Cameroon territory, whether it is Satum, whether it is the exploitation of water to bottled water, all those things have been banned. Brasseries have been banned. We cannot collect money from brasseries. We cannot. There are essential services and there are some critical businesses that we collect tax from, but we cannot collect tax from every company. And without the right political mindset, these soldiers will be dragged into things that will end up destroy them. Fear No Bullet there also is focused with cocoa and stuff like that. So we have a situation where generals they are now coming together for the wrong things and for the wrong reasons. You have generals, Fear No Bullet, he have his cocoa farm. Now you have all these villages that I've named. They are doing now forced recruitment. And they say everybody who is below 40 years old will not join them for practice to teach them how to fight war and defend themselves. They are now using them to do their own cocoa farm. So you have a general again own cocoa farm. You get the barracks farm. You get the lieutenant general farm. And now they're having this unity where the other generals who were not doing the same practices are now adopting bad practices. Unity for bad practices. So these our soldiers and Ambazonia soldiers are now responsible for the killing. I mean the ones that we have on record that have been documented, over 80 citizens slaughtered indiscriminately, and it's wrong. It must stop. There must be change in Manu. There must be change. The Manu Unity warrior who claim to be fighting for the IG must put them to order because they are taking that legitimacy from them. It is their responsibility. They had agreed to do so publicly several times. We have not heard anything. It is a boiling pot, and that pot have to be depressurized before the pressure will explode and make all of us embarrassed. And we are calling on these generals to stop these bad practices and focus on their work. We know freedom, when you have that space, it becomes a problem even when you cannot handle it. We are also seeing the cracks even in Savannah State with areas where you have the ADF forces there in Babanki, our liberated area there. Some of the communities there are now being attacked by Ambazonian forces, which are our own forces. They're supposed to be protecting themselves, having advice from people that do not have the best of their intention. We have seen the forces in Bamising now attacking along tribal line, attacking Babanki people, even in their community, attacking Babanki people in Bamisi. We have to remind ourselves that Babanki areas that have been liberated, most of those areas that have been liberated by the ADF camps there under our big general there, overall commander of Babanki, the General Moses, have been a shelter to everybody, even to the Bamising people, even to forces of the ARF, former ARF. Now they are now calling themselves Unity Warrior. They also come and seek refuge there when they are under pressure from the area. They should not listen to people who come and advise them just because they pay money. Sometimes they don't know who are those people. Yesterday is not good. The fighters under General Saigon, they don't turn now, they don't begin to use them for attack, for target Babanki people, even inside Bamising. They don't launch attack yesterday for inside Babanki, them adopt some civilian, then they with no justification for the purposes of just money. It is not correct. Even the house of Awonti, the former minister, that man been a minister at the time for Aiju time. That person don't die. Do want to be people the way they get anything for doing with black lekism or anything like that. We don't say they don't target that minister Awonti house, they don't burn the house. No person way to save this administration for La Republic. And we also say that they threaten the house. We get one house, I think around St. Louis Clinic, there for Bamenda, just around that area. They don't threaten that house too for Bonham. So the people the way they clearly encourage General Saigon, they need to think about these people them. What are people the way they actually advise them truly? Because sometimes people they can't pretend say they give on advice with them believe them. But when people they want mislead we, they want distract we. These are all liberated areas. They should have no Ambazonia attacking each other there. These are areas directly under their control. You have the ADF camp there under General Saigon. We also heard that even the ADF camp was informed about these operations that took place inside Babanki. It targeted our people in Babanki indiscriminately, and it violates their conscience, their hospitality towards our people in Bameseng. They want to provoke the people, a collective, a communal war. Even the people in that area, they had bought in Choba in Babanki, they had even donated money and bought 2 AK to set up their own people there, their own youths to carry gun to protect Ambazonia. They did so with our concern, and the idea that they are targeting those particular boys to come and disarm them is just wrong, and it is wrong. They are being ill advised. We are seeing that these cracks of communal violence, of previous intertribal war that exists are being exploited. They are being exploited. Our soldiers should be very careful when people advise them to carry out attacks that are not directed against Cameroon military or are not directed to kick out Cameroon terrorist colonial administrators or people who are blacklegs or spies. They should always seek consultation in these instances. We'll continue to follow up with these generals and to handle it the way it is. It's a very big issue. The people are very, very, very have been triggered in Babanki, and we don't want any intercommunal war. That is what Cameroon have been doing. So we'll be putting an eye on these things, and we'll be helping our community to come together and do the right thing. God bless.